Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday morning. It's December the 18th. We are 1 week from Christmas. How about that?
What?
The month is
Oh, my
flying
God.
by. For those of you who haven't started shopping, it's
Good
panic
luck.
time.
Good luck. In the
All
morning.
right. I'm Joe Callahan. That's John Wardred over there. Hello there, John.
Yes, it is. Good morning, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Tim Draper's here from Navigant.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh,
Look at a
Dave.
weird spot.
Oh, Dave. No, don't move.
Don't- I
Please
don't
fix the cameras.
You are in a weird spot.
Oh, yeah,
Look, we can share. Oh, no, I'm going the wrong way.
Wait for this. Here we go. Yeah, oh, Melissa's okay.
Go back.
That's
back
Melissa.
No, don't go back.
That's Melissa Smith. And Melissa, it is time for her first message.
Did you want to slide into my screen?
No. We'll fix it. We'll fix the cameras. All right, Melissa, time for our first message from the St. Antoine communities,
Right.
please.
So for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus. We are located on the line of Woonsocket and Blackstone, but in North Smithfield. We offer a full continuum of services on our property, from assisted living to long and short-term care. We have a brand new memory care assisted living unit, which you've heard me talk about several weeks in a row over the summer when we opened. And this is always a good time of year just to remind folks that are out visiting their family and checking in on parents that might be in need of a little bit of extra support. Do advanced planning, reach out ahead of time, get familiar with the process. You can call me directly. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can reach me at 401-767-3500, or you can even pop onto our website. A lot of information is there, as well as an information form that you can email to me and kind of get me all the questions that you are swirling on this holiday season. Thank you so much.
Hey, so how did the trees make out? Did they stand?
They're still standing. Actually, I
this
wanted
one.
to share with you, and I should have tagged you. The North Smithfield High School Chorus came out on Saturday night to do a performance at our community. They divided into two. It was a pretty large group, about 25 and 25. So about 50
Really?
kids came out. And they landed in the middle on our property.
Nice.
At the pavilion where the tree display was set up from Navigant, because they thought it was so beautiful and it was the most festive spot to do a
Cool.
group picture. And I
Yeah.
thought, how wonderful. And I meant to tag you. I did post it on the page Sunday, I think
Cool.
Sunday
I'll go back
morning.
and
So
look.
I'll go back and I'll tag you guys in it. But it's still standing with all the
Excellent.
wind,
All
the
the wind
rain,
and the rain, yep.
all the things. And now it's summer.
And now it's
Well,
I mean-
not really.
Holy cow.
That was just yesterday.
65 degrees
Don't
yesterday.
worry, it will change.
For those of you that are migraine sufferers like myself, this atmospheric pressure thing that's going on is
Yes, my wife.
Killing
goes-
me.
My wife suffers.
it is
terribly
killing me.
with
It's a
these
real
weather
thing.
changes.
I hope you believe her when she says she has a migraine. I spent the first
Oh,
few
yeah.
years of my marriage, and my husband
dear.
was like,
Oh, come on.
My dear.
"It's just a headache. Take some Tylenol." No.
We have. You may recognize this cycle. You get the headache that's so bad that you can't even take a pill to relieve the pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can't take a pill to relieve the nausea.
Yep.
And so the nausea and the pain get you vomiting, which
Yep.
gets you
A more intense headache.
dehydrated, which gets you even worse.
Yep.
And the only way out is to get to the hospital so that they can give you an IV fluids and give you an IV of medication, what they call a migraine cocktail,
Mm-hmm.
that they pump into you to get rid of the migraine. Yes, I've made several trips
Yep.
in the emergency room with my wife.
So
over the
you
years.
believe it.
It's bad.
And, and my
It's
my
bad.
husband has, and I should
We've-
clear this up
we've-
so no one
We've tried
thinks
the
he's awful,
wearing,
but it's
we've tried the tinted glasses to get rid of the effect
the
of
lights.
fluorescence.
fluorescent lights.
Gluten.
Yep. Yep.
Impact, try to work on lowering the gluten
Mm-hmm.
intake. A whole variety of issues that are mentioned to resolve migraine issues, but she's got it down to certain medication now that she takes when she sees it coming.
Mm-hmm. And you exactly.
And-
I think once you've had them for so many years, you start to anticipate what are your triggers.
The
This
trigger
weather is
comes,
definitely a
Weather
trigger,
is
so
one
you
of
know. You wake up and you know right away I'm going to do.
especially when it goes from very cold to very warm
Mm-hmm.
quickly, and then it's even worse when it starts raining and the moisture
Humid
level
rain.
goes way up.
Wow.
The migraine comes.
Yep, and then hormones, and then all the things. You
Wow.
just dump it all into a bucket
All
and
the things.
all the things.
Mix it up, right?
It's very true, and it's very crippling, and so I'm so
So
sorry.
when did your husband decide, oh, this is a real thing?
So believe it or
punched
not,
him.
we weren't even married yet, and I remember very, very clearly the day we had this fight. Which you can't fight when you have a migraine. You're just
You don't want to do anything.
Right, and so you know it was bad when whatever. So we were doing the program books for our wedding at my parents' house. We were alone. We were folding them up, and I was like, I'm getting a terrible headache. Oh my god, this is gonna be a migraine, and I could feel it seeping in. And he was like, "Come on, just pop some Tylenol, something. Suck it up.
Power
Suck
through.
it up moment."
Suck it up, Buttercup.
And I just got up from the table, went upstairs to my old bedroom,
Yeah.
closed the shades, got
lay
the
down.
cold washcloth on my face, closed
Get
the door,
away from me.
and that's what I said, right? And he was like, "Melissa, we have so much to do," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, enough. Fast forward several years, he got used to me and my patterns and how I used to hide. He ended up getting. Are we still on the air? I feel so comfortable. We
We're
ended
still
up.
doing your commercial.
He ended up getting bit by a tick while he was at a golf tournament, which we didn't know. We didn't know that for 4 weeks after that moment had happened. But one of his symptoms that kind of came up during the 4 weeks of exploring what the heck is going on with him, because he had a real neurological impact. He had like 2 weeks of migraines. But the Lyme test that he took wasn't popping up positive. It didn't pop up for 4 weeks. So they were ruling that out. They were like, okay, maybe you have meningitis. Maybe you're just a migraine sufferer. And I looked at him and I mean, not knowing it was Lyme. And I was like, how does it feel? It was kind of an evil moment for me. But we had just had my youngest. And I was like, I've got these 2 kids. And you're telling me you have to go sit in a dark room right now. And I thought of
Tell 'em to
all
suck
the
it up.
times that I've had to push through as a mom and push through those migraines. But it's awful.
Confirmation came for me on our second son's first birthday with the whole family, both sides, all coming over because it was a beautiful September day. Everyone was coming over, and we were going to have a big party out in the backyard. And everybody shows up, and Kathy missed the entire day, laying in bed with
So
the shades
sorry.
closed,
Yeah.
suffering through a migraine while we were all celebrating a first birthday.
You
Oh, she
can't
missed
even
it.
explain it.
No.
And it's and family and friends, everything to you guys and your wife. I think for her to miss it, that's just a cue how bad it is.
Right.
So yeah, we don't need to take the whole
All
show
right,
up
there
with
we
this
go.
lousy topic. Except
Migraines. I don't know how we got
Migraines.
there, but all right.
we've talked about much worse on
The other
air.
thing that can trigger it starts on January 5th when the General Assembly comes back.
That's a whole other kind of migraine.
Well, I wanted to bring this up to Tim because you either own one or you've flown one. Are you up on the? Are you one of these drone people that are flying these things around at night and harassing people?
No, I'm not. I still have mine though, but I don't fly it at night.
All right.
I don't
What
have very
is
good-
going on with all the drones?
Isn't that it's weird? I don't know. I think it's to me, an airplane. If you're not really familiar with what they look like at night, can certainly look like a drone. It's got 4 sets of lights on it. It's got landing light, tail light, and the 2 wing lights. So it could look like a drone. So some of that stuff, and I think they've already confirmed that some of it is in fact aircraft,
Airplanes?
right?
Okay.
But now I think what you've got is you've got a bunch of comedians out there with drones that are flying around at night to freak people out. Is
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. I don't. The one theory that seems to me that makes the most sense is that the government is testing some equipment that they have that they use drones for. And I guess it's a Army site in New Jersey or something that they tend to be flying over, but they're checking for radiation and other infrared type cameras that they're using on the drones. The only time you can really test them is at night. So they're doing it, but you would think that at least the government would come out and say, we're doing some testing.
The Defense Department actually, yesterday I thought I saw a statement from them saying, it is not us.
Well,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
We just got the story or release from Senator Reid, Jack Reid. He doesn't think that there's any hostile intent, but on the other hand, he wants to know where they're coming from, why are there so many, and who's controlling them.
That's the part I don't get.
Why there's so many,
I've heard
or-
stories from people saying, I saw 50 of them coming in off the water.
Yeah.
And then
Information?
it's like, wait a minute. How is, and then I saw another story, and I don't know how much of this is real or not.
Right.
I saw another story about a guy saying he sent his drone up to check on the drone that's up there.
right.
And because they have the ability to cut off signaling, they can literally put out some signal to block signals.
Yep.
And his signal to his drone was blocked, and it fell to the ground.
Oh,
But
okay.
the other drone was still
Stayed
up there.
All right.
Why?
I don't know.
And the 50 drones, which again, this is not going to make much sense, but the 50 drones, there are companies out there that use drones to do artwork in the sky. right? They program them. They use thousands of them at the same time.
Right,
They go up.
yeah.
They do images. You see them on the 4th of July now.
Yes, I've seen them.
So, could they be rehearsing? Sure, but I would think they would have told somebody that they were going to be doing that, and that
I always thought
We would
drones
know
had
that.
to be registered with the FAA.
they do. Mine does. Mine is.
Well,
I thought it was the size of it.
no,
is
it's
that-
it's
no?
if you
Every
have a
drone?
drone,
Every drone.
every drone's
Everyone.
supposed to be registered.
Okay. Well,
And there's certain no-fly zones over military.
there's a lot of
areas.
that. The two people were just arrested in Boston because
Well,
they
you-
were
yeah, you
flying
have
it
to-
near Logan
you have to
Airport.
follow
This
FAA
guy,
rules.
this guy that says his was knocked out of the sky was because he was flying over a restricted space, and
What
yet the
restricted
other
space?
drone was still up there.
Which says to me that it was allowed to be in restricted space.
That's the point.
Right.
I don't know.
All right, and the
I think it's just a distraction to keep us from worrying about
the
UFOs.
real thing. Okay. The FBI said over now it's everyone's seeing them because people are calling the FBI. They said they've had over 5,000 drone sightings.
Right. Like I
But
said,
then they come back to is it an airplane or is it a weather balloon?
I think it's a bunch of kids fooling around throwing drones up in the air.
Well,
That's
I'll
copycats.
use a local equivalent. You saw the Breeze article last week from a woman on Allen Avenue that's complaining about the noise of the rumble strip in the middle of the Truman Drive.
Yes, yes.
And it's like, oh, gee, how can I possibly have it so that people will intentionally drive over a rumble strip? Ah, yes, complain to the newspaper about it.
That's right.
now we'll
And then everybody
sure
will
to
make
hit
a
it.
point of saying, rumble strip?
Oh, all right. Well, we don't have any answers yet on this whole drone thing, and just be on the lookout, I guess. And
We'll learn something when when the first person shoots one down.
well, we're gonna have Bob Lotter on tomorrow
Yeah, which is illegal, by the way.
to have Bob
Oh,
Lotter
it's
on.
illegal.
No, shoot one down.
No, I know.
Bob Lauder, you could not have him on.
That's
illegal.
another video I saw on YouTube was
But-
somebody being arrested for shooting
Well,
down
that's
the
it.
drone that was over his house.
Now I saw. We'll have more explanation for Bob yesterday, but I saw Bob last night at our little post 85 celebrity bartender thing.
Yep.
But so I asked him then because I said, Bob, why don't you get ready for this and look stuff up if you have to. But he already had because we talked about it earlier. And you're right, John. It is illegal to shoot these things down.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's illegal to hit them out of the air if they come low enough with a baseball bat.
Right.
I said, why? Well, we don't have
Is it
the
private
whys.
property
It
or
just
something?
it just is. It's got something to do with your property, and I
You
had
don't
to be,
have air rights.
That's right.
Yeah.
You go up 85 feet. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Above that, it's everybody's.
Yep.
I said, I thought it was infinity,
No.
but no.
The original issue was privacy. It was these
Yeah.
drones flying over my house and
So you can't shoot them down.
But that's
it's
the
illegal.
problem I have with why isn't the government literally sending a helicopter out to one of these drones and following it
See where it lands.
to
yeah.
see where it lands?
Eventually, yeah.
Because once you get over that 85 feet and it's public airspace, and on the premise that every drone is required to be registered with the FAA, I think the government has a right to go out there and monitor it if it's an unknown drone, and if nobody's taking responsibility or admitting that it's theirs, and trace it.
Yeah. Now we had the
I
story.
mean,
it was
it
like,
shouldn't take a month to figure
Yeah.
that out.
There was a story we had year and a half ago, and there was a guy that was arrested. Coventry, East Greenwich. I don't know. He was using a drone to look in windows. He was that low.
But he was too low.
Well, yeah, but I said, well,
also
if they're that
invasion
low,
of privacy.
can't you hit those out of the air? And the answer is still no.
because I wonder if is it private property.
It's a private
If
property
you're trespassing on
thing.
my property,
Yeah.
I would think that you have the right to protect your property.
But I've talked to more people that have said, well, I'd shoot it if I could, and then you say, but now you tell them it's illegal, and they say we don't care.
If you shoot these things out of the air, there's so many other possibilities for people on the ground. Shrapnel coming down and the pieces of the
Yeah.
drone destroying property on the ground. You don't want to do that.
It's crazy.
I mean,
All right.
by the way, they are making what are effectively drones that can carry a person now.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we got to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and before we get to Melissa's second message, I want to ask, how did the residents enjoy the North Smithfield cars coming down for the show?
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And not because I have a daughter in it.
Doing a solo.
Or like all of her best. She did.
Oh, she did. Oh,
Yeah,
is that-
and I
wow.
missed it, and that was hard. So we, I don't live far from campus, and she was going to text me when they got up there. I was going to go up and take pictures, but we knew the group was dividing into assisted living building, the villa, and St. Antoine residence, our nursing home. And she told me she was going to be at the villa. So that is the assignment that I took. And the activities director for the nursing home was going to make sure she was in the other building. We were going to capture pictures, videos, whatever. Yeah. My kid's group changed at the last minute. So she was in the other building. So I missed it. And she never does a solo. This was supposed to be her test run, like to see how it went. So
Is this the oldest one?
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Senior year, she's finally got the courage.
All right.
It's fine. It's fine. They have 3 nights of shows this week. My kids are absolutely stressed out. Both are in the chorus, and for those of you that are familiar with the North Smithfield High School chorus, it's basically the entire school participates in chorus. It is huge. I want to say there's, I think, 250 kids.
Wow.
And just to give you an idea, there's only about 150 kids per grade.
Yeah.
So it's either band, which is very small,
Yeah.
or chorus, which is extra large. And Regina McAdams is the instructor, and she cracks that whip, and they are there for 3 nights of rehearsals, and it is 2-3 hours in length, and then they've got the shows all week, and it's just a very stressful week for parents of kids that are athletes, plus in music, plus in high,
schoolwork.
challenging classes,
schoolwork.
AP and honor classes. It's a collision of stress in my house. And then Friday comes, and it's like, oh, we're all better. So
Of course we are.
I'm seasoned at this now. It's been already, this is Allie's 4th year as a senior now, and my youngest being a freshman. And so I'm more prepared than I was the first year she took chorus.
All right, great.
Long-winded story. So sorry.
Second message for St. Antoine.
Yes. What I will share is that today is the last day that our wreaths will be on display for our silent wreath auction. We have, I want to say there are 16, I think, up there this year on the walls of 10 Rhodes Avenue, St. Antoine residence, and some very generous bidding has taken place. But it's never been about the fundraiser. It's never been about money raised. It's really been about just, decorating the hallway and providing a little seasonal joy to those residents that live in the building and create some conversation. And mission accomplished. It's been wonderful. But today is the day. So 1 o'clock, we're going to pick the winning bids and make some calls, and you can come pick them up. But so if you have a little bit of time this morning, swing by and check them out and maybe put a bid on a wreath that you want to take home with you. Thank you.
Very good. More of the Coffee and program is coming your way. You can call in comments and questions at 766-1240. Here's an idea to make Christmas even more special. Why not go out for breakfast? But who's open? I'll tell you. Missy's Family Restaurant, Clinton Street in Woonsocket, is open on Christmas Day from 6 a.m. to noon. They'll be serving breakfast items only. Eggs, pancakes, French toast, waffles, plus more. It's a perfect way to begin Christmas. Come to Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, for a wonderful homemade breakfast. Merry Christmas from Judy and the staff at Missy's Family Restaurant. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
All right, Coffee and right here on ON AM and FM. And thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with Melissa Smith, Tim Draper, and John Ward. And so, Tim, you get. I don't know if this is affecting a Navigant Credit Union in your members, but because of the hack situation, are you getting a lot of calls over at Navigant? Help us out. What do I do?
We planned all weekend for what could have been a crazy Monday morning, but it really wasn't all that crazy.
Okay.
And in reality, this issue is not a Navigant Credit Union issue.
No,
this
it's
is a
not.
state of Rhode Island issue. It's a Deloitte-specific issue.
It's not a competent operation.
It's not I can't believe that that's the stuff we have to go through for vendor due diligence and making sure that our vendors are protected against this stuff. It's almost like the state that, that whole UHIP thing years ago was such a debacle in putting it in place. So what's the best way to solve that problem? Let's just rename it. So we call it Rhode Island Bridges now. And I know the chairman of the Rhode Island Bridge and Turnpike Authority, and had a conversation with him the other day just out of chance. And he goes, our phones blew up Monday morning because people going
calling the wrong number.
Yeah, no, they thought it was the Rhode Island Bridge. They thought the little transponder in their window and all their data got compromised. He's like, no, Rhode Island Bridges is a state social services platform. It's not us.
Wow.
So their executive director down there at the Bridge and Turnpike Authority was a little crazy on Monday morning answering questions. But yeah, for our members, if you we're telling them basically what the state is telling everybody, which is you should freeze your credit.
Yeah.
And you can go on that the state's website that'll actually direct you to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Do a quick little sign up, and then you can freeze your credit. That's step one. Step two, you can change if you want your password for online banking. You should be doing that anyway. And I know it's a pain and people hate it, but dual factor authentication is a big deterrent for the bad guys because you need to validate your account twice. So when I sign into my account using my password, it says, "Would you like us to text you a code on your phone?" Yes, text me the code. It's a pain.
You mean I
get
actually
it.
signed up for that voluntarily for all that pain in the neck stuff they make me do?
Yeah. Well, I think once you do it one time, if you're accessing your account from the same computer
You
using
don't.
the same
Right.
network, you don't have to do it again. But if you want to protect yourself, then you should force yourself to go through that process every time. And it is a pain. And we get people yelling at us all the time, "Well, what do you make us do this for?" And we don't make you do it, but you should.
Now you know why. But it is interesting because I don't think with the Easy Pass actually I don't recollect them collecting my Social Security number.
No, I don't think so.
So
I don't think
that wouldn't go that far. But what I'm wondering about is, Melissa,
Right.
how many
Not
seniors,
me personally.
no,
But
not
yeah.
personally, but I
Yeah.
mean, virtually 90% of all seniors in nursing homes
Medicaid.
are on Medicaid because
82% of our population are on Medicaid. Yeah.
Their strategy is to change their personal finances such that they will rely on Medicaid
Yep.
and Medicare to pay the bill when
Yep.
they're in a nursing home.
Yep.
And so every person, almost every person in a nursing home is on Medicaid, which is part of that Bridges system.
Yep.
And therefore, their information was exposed. How many family members'
Yep.
information is in their account
Yep.
information because they have a power of attorney or they are somebody that is the go-to person that they might be. So if you are a family that has a person in a nursing home that's being paid for with Medicaid,
Yeah.
your name and information, some of your information may be tied to that account too.
The layers.
This is so huge.
Right, it is. And just, I'm sorry, Melissa. I
No,
don't mean
no,
to
no,
stop
go
you.
ahead.
The other thing is, you may think, well, these people don't have any money, so they don't need to go through this whole process. You still need to freeze their credit
Yeah.
because they can have identity theft from them. So now all of a sudden, somebody's out there setting up IDs in their names.
100%.
Yeah, they may
So
develop
this is
credit quickly.
This could potentially be a very crippling situation for a lot of people, and we're not overreacting right now. I think
Right.
that the business office has been taking care of. They've been on virtual calls the last couple of days. I don't have a lot of information to share from their perspective of what kind of assurance they've been given. It's not like we haven't gone through issues in the past. You nailed it. Where we've had these pockets of time that have been tangled up in legalities and regular income flow for a facility like St. Antoine Community is critical. When you have like 250, 300 employees getting paid for, and you're providing services to 80+% of your population are on state benefit, you're not getting paid much. You largely operate on grants and donations, et cetera, to make up the difference. That's not going to carry you while dollars are frozen and tied up in state legalities. But what I will say, I'll add on top of it's not just the 82% or so that we have on Medicaid already. It's the extra 5 or 6% that are already out of resources and in the process of getting approval to be on Medicaid that I'm even more concerned
Are gonna
about
be
because
frozen
they're
out.
just getting into the system, but they may have 25, 30,000 left in assets. That money
Yeah.
that's going to be the target.
And the number, the initial.
They haven't spent down fully, is my point, to get eligibility. They still have a little pocket of asset left that could be completely targeted.
From what we understand, the information has not necessarily yet been put out there on the dark
No,
web.
they're still.
They're
The
waiting to
threat
get
is
paid.
still there,
Threatening.
waiting to get paid.
Yes.
So assuming that they're not, and even if they do, who's to say they're not going to throw it out there anyway? Which
All
is
right.
the other thing. So nothing's really changed yet for folks, but it's the yet
Anticipation.
part,
It's
right?
the
It's the
anticipation.
okay. What do we do now? So what we do is we prepare. We do the credit freezes, and and that's probably something. Are you guys helping people through that?
So that's where so I was with the finance director last night at a holiday function, let's call it that, and a couple others, and right now, yes, that they're been instructed to assist them through the process,
Yeah.
but we don't have the staff and the support,
Right.
like to do all that. So we're reaching out to families and we're trying to pass on that instruction that they're receiving on their.
You almost need to set up a space in your community rooms where the families can come in and they can just help their seniors
Silly
through that
you.
process.
Every nook and cranny is occupied in our community. We don't even
Well, there's
have
a
closets.
tree and a rotunda
There is.
outside.
And
Just
it's a
throw
nice
some plastic
day.
around it. It's a
We've
beautiful
got
day.
picnic tables on the walking path.
Get a heater. And
Yeah,
go outside.
I think the other challenge is you have a lot of families that this is the holiday season.
Oh yeah.
They're away, they're remote, whatever it might be. It's yucky. This is
Right.
a really
That's,
bad, yucky situation for many people.
It's the horrible part was the first numbers that came out said something around 300,000 should may be affected, and that's out of a 1 million state population, which is incredible all by itself. But then the last second number I saw come out was about 450,000.
Yeah.
So half.
Almost half the population of the state is affected by this, and that's bad. Just on the face of it, it's bad that that could happen. But two things make it even worse. One is, why is half the population of the state on some sort of state
Social aid.
assistance? And the second thing is, they've been getting warned about this in the Auditor General's annual report now for 4 years that they need to improve
better
their
security.
security on their systems. Not just RI Bridges, but all of their
systems.
security.
Right.
Which means every other system is at risk of being hacked. And the same thing happening because the state, in its highest level of incompetence possible, leaves itself exposed. And despite 4 years of warnings, and I know Ken Block likes to point at the governor, but it's not the governor. It's the governor and his key administrative people that deal with IT and General Assembly oversight, because remember, the Auditor General doesn't report to the governor. The Auditor General works for the General Assembly.
And they
The
haven't
Auditor
funded any
General's
positions.
there to report to the Finance Committee and to report to the oversight committees. So where are the people on the oversight committees and the finance committees who get these reports every year and don't hammer the administration to do the right thing with their
get something
systems?
done.
Can I ask you a quick question? Because you might be more pervy to this, and I might be, completely a fool for not paying attention if this was announced. Because all the focus on our end, anyways, were basically on state-assisted seniors, and that's where my energy's been since the story broke. I was trying to think if there's also any vulnerability to the database during the pandemic when everyone had to enter their information into the state portal for every time that they were getting us.
That's a
getting,
good question. I
So
don't,
has
I don't know whether
has that piece been, because we put Social Security's date of births, address information, demographics into that initial to be set up in the portal.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, so I might not be someone who receives state welfare assistance or benefits or anything to that effect, but
No, but
I
tracking
am
your
someone
COVID shots.
exactly. So is all of my information still obtainable, as well as my children, as well as
very good question.
Yeah,
as to
because
whether,
that affects
I
more people.
thought they shut that database down.
I don't know. I mean, we always thought when we, as healthcare workers, were kind of putting our information in the beginning.
got the app?
We always
I had it. I don't
thought
know if I
that
still have it.
somehow that information, genius of them at the time, because they were really asking you to do like 3 or 4 unnecessary tiers of questions. Sexuality,
yeah.
preference,
Oh,
all
yeah.
of that was in there.
I
Yeah, I'm just
don't-
curious.
That's a very good
401
question.
Health.
401 Health. That's what it was.
Okay, so here we go.
I think I got rid of mine.
So I guess it wasn't a
no,
foolish
it's
question.
still-
I
it's still
I feel
active.
validated.
Yeah,
I've still got it.
I'm not going to accept it, but that's.
Yeah.
So that would be
So I wonder
something
who
to
set
bring
that
up.
up. I
So
wonder
who's
whose
going to call
site
the
that
state
is.
and ask them that question? Just wonder. Anyone?
Well,
Anyone listening
You guys have the
have a-
governor on speed dial here. You should probably just ask that question.
We do not.
I don't think he's going to answer this morning.
Maybe
There's
not.
enough going on.
Well, so far, the only thing that the state really has done is we've extended the call hours at that number to call. Oh,
I don't.
Great.
There's not much they can do.
They're
It's
gonna-
all
they're
on
gonna say the
It's all
same
on
thing
Deloitte.
You just said.
Yeah.
Freeze your
Right.
credit.
It's all on Deloitte at this point in order for remediation and mitigation to try to fix this. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we're not screaming more about Deloitte.
But how many people are in the middle of doing business that requires them to prevents them from freezing their credit?
Oh, I know. Buying houses, cars,
yes.
getting credit cards at the holiday time to get the discounts on the stuff you're buying.
And
And you got to remember to unfreeze it at a later date.
Fortunately, you can just pause your freeze. You can say freeze for the next 2 weeks, and it'll go. Then
It'll
go
do it
back
on its own?
Yeah, then
Okay.
it'll go back on.
But again, it's information that the people who did this, if they end up releasing it, it becomes information that somebody can use in the future to attempt
Right.
to find, filter through it. It's not that they are necessarily going to use it. It's that they will release it to everyone else who would use it
Right.
improperly.
And there's in our case, there's protocols that are in place that if somebody tries to open an account online, we're verifying that account and the information. Somebody tries to set up an ACH payment with somebody else's name, a new one, we're going through a whole process to make sure that that's vetted correctly. So there's some manual processes that will take place if somebody tries to set things up. But this, like I said, even if this gets released tomorrow, the bad guys may not do anything with it for years.
Right.
Right? It could be in a month. It could be years.
But you hit that key word, Deloitte. Why in God's name did we even keep Deloitte after the UHIP
after
thing?
the UHIP,
and
yeah,
I
I don't
heard another station talking about the fact that the last contract that was signed with Deloitte was in 2021 for 3 years. And it was Tara Granahan, actually, who was asking the question, did the governor sign a new contract in 24? 3 years are up. This is
That
December.
you don't know about.
Do they have a new contract?
A lot of times those contracts are automatic renews for 3 years if you don't do anything.
Is the governor willing to share that information?
Well, we got to take a break here in the Coffee and program. There's no answer to that right now. So time for the forecast, which is being brought to you by Allstate Insurance.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 46 degrees and light and variable wind. Tonight, 100% chance of rain, mainly before 4 a.m., overnight low of 34 with light and variable wind. A half to 3/4 of an inch of rain is possible overnight. Thursday's weather, partial sunshine at first, gradually becoming all sunny with a high of 43 and a breeze from the northwest, gusts to 25 miles per hour. Thursday night, increasing clouds. Friday, a 40% chance of some snow, mainly after 2 p.m. Cloudy skies, high near 36. Little or no snow accumulation is expected on Friday, but an inch or two is expected overnight on Friday night. Saturday, partial sunshine, high of 32, with a north wind up to 25 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and 22 after a very cold Saturday night. Sunday night, clear, overnight low of 8 degrees with a north wind. On Monday, sunshine and 26, and Tuesday, partial sunshine with a high of 34.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the sunny skies, we are up to 36 degrees. Wish you could save on home insurance with Allstate? You could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasca Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TascaBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasca Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer, and I'd love to have you join me every Saturday for the Saturday Block Party. We start at 4 o'clock when I open up the ON Music Vault for you to pick whatever you want to hear or send to somebody special. Yes, the good old radio request days are back. Join me for the Saturday Block Party, Saturdays from 4 until 7 on ON Radio and streaming online at WoonsocketRadio.com.
And it's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and John Ward and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Let's go right back to that whole Ryland Bridges thing. If you have, if you're getting social help from the state, whether it be Medicaid, whether it be SNAP assistance, whether you've purchased your health insurance through Health Source Rhode Island, which is another big one, we are highly encouraging everybody to follow the state's guidance here, and would recommend you going to the state's website to make sure that you're following that guidance. But it is essentially, we want you to freeze your credit at all 3 credit bureaus. It's a fairly simple process, and you just hit the word freeze once you sign up and get your account squared away. They validate who you are, and then you just go in there and freeze your credit. That will prevent anybody from setting up new credit in your name. So it's the way to avoid this potential identity theft. And you should be doing it anyway, but this just rises to the occasion of we're going to tell you about it. If you're comfortable, then you can change your passwords on your online banking. Not that this system we think is going to create any issues with that, but we don't know what information they have because hasn't been shared yet with anyone. So as an abundance of caution, and again, something you should do in the regular course of your everyday life, every 30, 60, 90 days, you should be changing your passwords, making them a little more complex, just so that you can protect yourself and your money. We're doing it for you in the background by making sure that we're not seeing anything unusual or funny going on any of the accounts, and we have a lot of tools that allow us to do that. But don't just rely on us, folks. Be your own advocate here. And take those steps that the state is recommending. And again, if you're not part of that, I think you should still take those steps. I think that's just a smart thing to do to protect yourself, because it's not just the state that's getting breached. There's lots of organizations and credit card companies and things that get breached every day. It's just, that's the world we live in. So we try to take precautions on our end. We want you to take precautions on your end. And if you have any questions about that, you can always give us a call, 233-4700. Or again, go to the state's website, and I forget exactly the name of that. There's a website out there, but if you Google State of Rhode Island data breach, then I think that website will pop right up there for you. So,
all right, Tim.
Thanks.
Very good. Other things going on, we want to report this because we talked about it. We had it on the news yesterday because there was a crash in Smithfield on Putnam Pike, and between a truck and a car, and the truck allegedly crossed over the line and hit head-on into the car. And 20-year-old man from North Attleboro that was driving the truck has passed away because of that crash. And there was a woman and a child in the other car. They were transported to Rhode Island Hospital and Hasbro Children's Hospital. No word on their injuries, but they say the man passed away.
44 is another one of those roads, like
gonna
Route
say
6.
that.
Oh, my God.
Where it was on 44 growing up in Smithfield, I can tell you there were regular accidents down near that little stretch.
Yeah, but but cars crossing over the line and crashing
So
head-on
there's
into each
so
other?
the problem you have is it's 2 lanes going both directions on 44 with no barrier in the middle. So you have, it's tight as it is. I need to throw the pen.
Right.
It's tight as it is. Just learning how to drive in that area as a teenager, always found it really challenging. Always felt like I was just going over the line. But 2 cars in both directions and just like a double line through the middle, no barriers, there's not enough space. It's not wide enough.
What a great opportunity for clipping mirrors off each other.
100%. I'm surprised
even
more
as
people.
an adult, I find myself driving in the right lane of both those directions. I don't want to be in the left lane.
It's the intersection that's worse. And actually, I can say my mom got into an accident with my daughter when she was just a baby at that intersection, but right near the library. Like right near that
right.
right-hand turn into Pleasant View Avenue.
Crazy
So where
road.
44 and
That
Pleasant
is
View Avenue connect.
Crazy.
And it's a timing thing. And I think they changed it to an arrow light there. I'm not sure, but you're still crossing over 2 lanes. You're still. It's just it's unsafe, and I don't know how they could ever fix it without completely blowing up the traffic flow on that area. I mean, it would be detrimental.
Well, that's right. Now that they're going to collect tolls, maybe they can fix it.
I don't know how you fix
This
it.
is all one way to stop talking about tolls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. There was as John likes to say every now and again, what a maroon.
What a maroon.
Wearing the Ramus.
Rhode Island man has been arraigned in Connecticut. He allegedly assaulted his girlfriend and then caused a risk of injury to an infant. The man, Valdez, that's the last name of Providence, is accused of strangling his girlfriend. He was at the Route 95 North Fairfield, Connecticut Service Plaza in Connecticut on December 7th. He allegedly, but after strangling the girlfriend, he then punched out the back window of the car, which is pretty amazing that he
Brilliant.
could do this. And that caused shattered glass to fall onto theirs 1-month-old baby that was in the back seat.
Brilliant.
So he's a nice guy too.
Brilliant.
I was- You know, let's give him credit. At least the baby was in the back seat.
Well, that's the mom. That's maybe
And
the
hopefully
mom's just
facing
trying
in
to
the
get
right
away.
direction.
So yeah,
I'm
you're
kidding.
right.
He's an idiot.
He did flee. He did flee the scene. He was arrested in Rhode Island on Monday on an outstanding warrant for
you know why?
Connecticut.
You know why he's an idiot?
Well,
Because
there's
he
lots of
didn't do it in
reasons.
New York City, where they would release him
Let him go?
immediately.
Right.
Well, there was a warrant for his arrest in Connecticut. He's accused of selling millions of counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. Yeah.
Oh, so he should be put to death.
So,
Because that's what he's going
we'll
to do to
see.
somebody.
So, apparently the baby is okay. So that's good there.
He's an idiot, period, is where the story should have ended. I don't know why we carry it.
All right. TF Green Airport is offering the, quote, Good Maps app to help people of all abilities and languages get around the airport during the busy holiday season. I don't know an easier airport to get
I know,
around
it's not that
than
difficult. There's-
TF Green
There is
no
Airport.
none.
directions.
There is none. It's the easiest
It is the
airport
easiest in the,
on
in the
planet.
country.
We need an
It
app.
has
We
to
need to
be.
It's a
spend some money
straight
on
line.
the app.
It is a straight line.
Yeah.
The only decision you have to make is do I
we
go
go
left
down?
or do I go right?
Yeah. And you look at the board.
So what are the high numbers and what are the low numbers? And we're just going to go that way.
I don't know, but well, that's what they're doing. So, airport
Basically,
officials.
if it's JetBlue or Southwest, you go left. Every other airline, you go right.
Exactly
Well,
correct.
officials hope the tool will improve customer service and the experience of travelers who are not familiar with the airport, but you get real familiar. Where are the stairs? You know, stairs to the baggage claim, and we're done.
How do we get out? Go that way.
The elevator might be tough to find.
glass.
Is there one?
It's glass. It's
Yes,
right
there
there.
is one.
Yeah, right in the middle.
It is right in the middle, but
It is.
you got to know it's like it's
okay.
under the escalators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's in the
All
stairs.
Starbucks at the bottom of it, right?
The
The
good
guy that plays the piano.
The Good Maps is free to download and is designed to assist low vision passengers, non-native language speakers, and neurodiverse travelers navigate the airport and find specific amenities.
All right. Well,
What is neurodiverse? It's a head thing.
it's a new word. It's a new name for something.
That's a new name. Neurodiverse travelers.
Is it
Google it.
N-U-E-R-O?
Like
N-U-E- oh.
N-E-U-R-O.
No, it's
diverse.
means
Are
your
they-
brain
Do
functions
they want to say?
differently.
Are they trying to say Alzheimer's disease and trying to be nice about it?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a whole variety
Tim's on
of
it. His
issues
fingers
that
are clicking.
qualify as neurodiverse
Okay.
because
well,
the word diverse is in there, which means
Yeah.
it's more than just one thing.
political thing.
it's a political thing.
But it's political correctness.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
found it?
Neurodiversity refers to the natural variation in how people's brains process information, think, learn, and experience the world. How they think, learn, and experience the world.
ADHD,
Okay. Or autism.
Alzheimer's, autism, Asperger's,
Okay.
all of that.
Yep.
Well,
It's a new term. We all learn something.
I-
and you're in
I
healthcare.
feel like
You
I
should go
should
home-
have known that
You
term.
should go. You should go back to your office and go, what's neurodiversity?
And
I know, I might.
progressives.
well, like we said, it doesn't get any easier than navigating TF Green Airport, and let's keep it that way.
Right. Don't screw it up.
All right. Tim's going to get going.
Yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately,
Aw.
Tim will be back this afternoon with Kathy Orovitz on the Milk
Fun.
Milk
The
Fun
auction.
auction. So that'll be a
Tune
good
in.
time.
Tune in on your computer.
So,
see the great stuff that we got to auction off.
so before you go, Tim, a second message, please, from Navigate Credit Union.
We're just wishing everybody at this time of the year happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It's a great time of the year to take stock of the things that you have and the people that you love. And those of us that have lost folks at this time of the year, it's always difficult. I certainly understand that. But I like to keep them in my memory as we plow forward through the holidays and think of some of the traditions that we've had over the course of time. And that's our word of the season is traditions. You may have seen it on our billboard on 146 or the online app at the top banner. And we just want folks to remember those things that have given them joy throughout the course of time. And we wish you again and your families a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year.
All right, Tim, thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Thanks. See
All
you
right.
to you tonight.
Yes,
Bye, guys.
more coffee and coming up. Stick around.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
How long has it been since you replaced your floorings or rugs? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, over 25 years? If it's been a long time, then a trip to PT Floor Covering is in order. With more than 25 years of satisfied customers in the Woonsocket area, PT Floor Covering can give you the flooring you want today with the freedom to pay for it over time. From carpeting to laminate flooring to vinyl flooring to hardwoods, PT Floor Covering has what you're looking for. See their 5-star reviews online at ptfloors.com. PT Floor Covering, 91 North Main Street, Woonsocket.
Hi, this is Dave Richards. On Wednesday's Milk Fund Radio Auction, we'll feature many useful and attractive items for the home and gift giving. Pumpkin bread loaves, plus a big Hershey's Kiss, and lots of valuable gift certificates. So join me, Joe Callahan, and our 2 celebrity guest auctioneers, Tim Draper and the president of Navigant Credit Union, Kathy Orovitz, on the next Milk Fund Radio Auction from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on the one and only
ON Radio. You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Alrighty, it is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us, Joe Callan with Melissa Smith and John Ward, because Tim Draper had to go, and you should be very excited, Melissa. Ask me why.
I'm more concerned as to why.
Universal Pictures is revealing a title change for next year's Wicked sequel.
Oh.
Have you heard?
No, I did not hear
Well,
that.
previously they were just going with Wicked Part 2, which is kind of dull. And so they're not going to call it that.
I like direct, though. It's very direct.
The film will now be titled Wicked, for Good, F-O-R.
Oh.
Wicked for Good. All right? She's not impressed.
I would have been fine with Wicked, too.
The movie covers the second act of the Broadway musical. It will be released in theaters. You got a long wait. November 21st, 2025.
Yeah,
basically
I'm
a
okay
month.
with it.
Wicked has brought in a cool $359 million at the domestic box office, $524 million worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's doing well.
It's doing well.
And the sequel will do well as well.
And I said it before in the air. I would not just make this one of those wait till it comes out on DVD or on TV or whatever. I would see it in the theater. For the
bigger
for
screen,
the true
the sound.
impact. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
And I don't like the movies.
Really?
Yeah, I get
All right.
cringy a little bit, especially in the winter, all the kids, all the germs, all the things. But you got to go in there. You got to sit in the middle. You got to have the wide view. The sound system is critical.
I don't know if John heard this, but did you hear about the movie theater up in Methuen, Massachusetts, that had to close?
No.
With the rats and the mice running around
no.
in the movie theater.
Beautiful.
And people are seeing them while they're watching the movie.
So they weren't cleaning up the popcorn after each show,
Yeah,
huh?
a little bit of a problem. So they went in and they said it was a terrible infestation.
Well, you feel like if there's a packed theater and they're running around, they're not even afraid of
People
or movement, then there's definitely
Well,
a
they
major...
didn't say it was packed. They just said it was but it was an AMC theater, so
I doubt
it
it
wasn't
was
a second row.
packed.
Lincoln used to have that reputation. That's gone
Really?
through a few times. Yeah, I
Well,
remember that. I remember that in
you-
my younger years. There was always that rumor of like,
There were mice inside.
Mice
Talking
issues,
back
yeah.
when they were in the mall,
yeah. Well,
across from the
The Dream Machine.
Green
yes,
Machine.
yes.
Okay. Well, all right.
That time period, yes.
Okay.
Not the new ones. I haven't heard anything about the CW
All right.
Lanes ones, but yes.
All right, on the government side, John, I'm happy about this. That the government's actually done something I'm happy with.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's see what you think. This is the Federal Trade Commission.
Okay.
All right, is banning hidden junk fees for hotels and event tickets. So now, Melissa, if you're gonna go see Taylor Swift and your ticket is $100, let's say, but then when you get down to actually buy it, it's $350.
Yep.
because there's this fee and that fee and the other fee, and because we can
Out
fee,
of control.
they're
Yes.
getting rid of all of that. Finally, when you go online to buy tickets,
So it's an
the
all-in
tickets
price.
for the tickets for Taylor Swift are actually $350. So you know it ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, all they're
I just
doing
use that
is
as an
burying it
example.
within.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're still paying the same large amount of money, but you go, oh yeah, one of my favorite artists, great. It's only $50 to see him until you or her.
You know what I would love to see?
until you get to the end, and it's not $50.
I remember for years when I worked for United Way, and I won't say which one, but the question was always asked, every presentation I gave was, what's the overhead? Tell me what the breakdown is. Tell me what my dollar is getting. Of the dollar, how much is going to administrative fees, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to see a concert ticket broken down. Tell me how much is going in the artist pocket versus the stage crew versus the backup
wow.
dancers versus the lights versus the whatever, because
I don't think they can break it down that much.
there are some very greedy artists, I feel like, that are on the tails of Taylor Swift right
But then
now.
the artists always say we don't control the ticket prices.
That's what they say, but I want to know the breakdown.
All right.
I feel
okay.
like I deserve that as
Yeah.
someone who is considering or contemplating dropping.
All right.
For example, this young artist Gracie Abrams is very popular right now. She's been on tour with Taylor Swift a couple different times. She's rising in popularity. Of course, she's going out next year and doing her own
her
tour.
own. Mm-hmm.
This is still kind of someone who's getting her name recognized.
All right.
I looked up the tickets.
How
They were
much?
like $400 and something for a ticket in the nosebleed. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? It's gotten out of control.
Same thing with.
It's really high.
I don't-
Same thing with hotels. John.
I have absolutely no need to struggle with this problem.
Don't go to concerts.
There you go.
Well, but also with hotels. And hotels say, okay, the room is this amount of money until you check out, and now you owe this amount of money because
Can they do it with
resort
utili-
fees and this fees and that fee and the other fee.
Can they do it
Yes.
with utility bills?
Well, I don't have that on here, John. I don't know.
No, another
There's at
one
least
is
8 lines on your electric bill.
VRBO and Airbnbs. Like, I struggle with that too. You could be looking, we're planning a trip next year to San Diego, looking at a variety of different options. And I feel like you have to be so careful because you can look at what the daily price is during the window that you're looking at, window of time you're looking at. But when you go to like select it, then you're checking out the fees. I could be looking at a $500 a day rental or a $300 a day rental. And believe it or not, the $300 a day rental could have higher fees and could put me way over what the $500. It's very inconsistent.
Well,
So
businesses
these fees thing is
businesses will now be required to show the true total price when they offer, display, or advertise any price of live event tickets or short-term lodging.
I feel like all of it.
I think this is a good thing.
I do too.
It is a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. The FTC chair say people deserve to know up front what they're being asked to pay without worrying that they'll later be saddled with mysterious fees that haven't budgeted for and can't avoid. So okay. So
Yeah. I feel like
Yay for the
Expedia
FTC.
has been doing that for a long time. I've noticed that they post the price that's the actual, like, fees included. I appreciate that. I'd like to know up front and not be surprised when you're going to check out.
Does that include baseball, football?
it's just as event tickets, so
Events.
the answer should be
Soccer,
yes.
yeah.
Events,
Yeah.
lodging.
Yeah, the popcorn fee and the beer fee and the
I-
cleanup fee is.
It's a wonderful thing, but the nature of lobbyists and industries that are that big,
You think they'll fight it
they'll find a way around it.
and try and still
They
try
don't have to fight it. They'll just find a way around it.
by not disclosing what the fees are?
I don't know.
But it should come down to, here's the price, here are all the fees, here's the tax, here's the bottom line. And if you don't want to pay it, don't pay it. But
I just
all right, you think they'll find a way around it? Huh?
I've seen so many good large corporations simply find their way around
Yeah.
regulations. I mean, just look at the tax code.
Oh, that's just that's
It's just another example of the government trying to squeeze money out of people, and people with enough money figure out ways to get around it. Now, the question is, do they design it so that people can get around it if they're wealthy enough to pay their fee
yeah.
to the politicians, or is it that they're just that smart to get around it? I think it's the former rather than
Okay.
the latter.
Well, if you're shipping something out for holiday gifts this year, today's
Too
the
late.
last. No, today's the day. Today is the last mailing date to ensure delivery before Christmas for first class and ground advantage services. UPS says packages will need to be with them by Thursday for their 3-day select service. FedEx recommends getting boxes shipped by today for their ground and home delivery options.
See, and I don't buy into that either. I get so confused with that whole thing. I ordered something on Kohl's 2 days ago.
No, this is you shipping to somebody.
No, I know.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
trying to understand the whole shipping system overall. How is it that I can order something from them and it can be in my front door a day later, shockingly. I didn't even pay for any extras. I know you were going to ask, did you pay for the expedited whatever? No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I just bought it and it was on my
There.
doorstep the next day. I just don't understand how that.
Well, I
Like-
went to buy an item and similar items. You know, we go into something like Amazon and you get 10 items, 10 different brands or 10 different models of the same type of items. One of them is not available till January. The other one will come sometime between December 35th, 25th, and 31st.
Yep.
And the others you can get in 2 days.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's
I
a
put
question of-
Amazon in their own little bucket because they have controls on
Well, but-
warehouses and things getting out to you right away. But I think like going to the local post office, to say like a week out from the holiday that today is the last day, I actually don't believe it.
Well, that's the thing.
I think they
Is
could do
that-
better.
Is that like if I put a card in the mailbox today
Mm-hmm.
that's going to California, and I put a card in the mailbox today that's going to North Smithfield, they're obviously
Mm-hmm. Well,
working on two
obviously
different
very
timelines.
different. Yes, obviously that one.
So is that the max out where if you put it in for California now,
Mm-hmm.
it won't get there until just before Christmas, but if I put it in
Yes.
for something that's going to North Smithfield, it's still going to be there in 2 days.
Right. So that I guess that's what I'm looking for them to do, is to be a little more specific on
Getting
A map.
Okay.
break the U.S. into three sections and
Because
say
none
this,
of that applies to anything going from here to Hawaii.
Well, no, then all bets are off because it's
It's going over the
It's
water.
going over the water. That's right. The Pope has come out and said there were 2 attempts on his life when he visited Iraq in 2021.
Oh.
Not surprising.
He's got a book coming out, and he writes that 2 suicide bombers, one in a van, were on their way to Mosul to attack during his visit there. The attackers were intercepted and taken out by Iraqi security forces. How about that? And he says Pope Francis's visit to Iraq was the first by a pope. So, yay for the Iraqi security if they pulled this off. Good for them. Mega Millions is up to $825 million, by the way, if you feel like taking part in that.
Well, I encountered 2 momentous events in my life. I'm sure many other people did too. I watched the last episode of Blue Bloods.
Oh, with Tom Selleck?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's a good show.
It's concluded.
Okay.
They did a good job.
They sit around the family dinner? Is that the last
Oh
shot?
yeah, the last shot was the dinner table.
Okay.
And last night watched the tail end of the last episode of Yellowstone.
Oh, you liked it?
Such a disappointing season.
Now, I read about that. I just read that
I haven't
ending
seen
was
the last episode, so
disappointed.
don't spoil. But I did not enjoy the season. Did you enjoy the season?
Well,
You didn't think there was overacting? A little Beth overreacting, like main
it's
character
not,
Beth?
It's not consistent. Well, I never raised a daughter, so it's hard to tell about that relationship.
I don't think
between
anyone has
father
a
and
daughter like Beth.
But of course-
for those that are familiar with that character, it's
But of course, she certainly converted from that first season when it wasn't on regular network television and she was nude and crude, as Australian actors go. I never realized she was Australian too.
thick accent.
Doing
She
it
does get
doing
rid
an
of the
American
accent,
accent?
very well.
Oh, wow.
But she goes from nude and crude to a loving daughter, and it's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah.
But again, it's
People
one of
change.
these things where when you're younger, you hate your parents.
Yep.
And then as you mature, you change how you feel about things. So, and of course, she did marry, and it changed. They changed the character significantly.
Totally.
Well,
He's not as good looking now that he's married. It's just a funny. You miss Kevin Costner though. That to me,
Yeah.
his
He was the
absence
show?
this year was the issue
was-
for me. It was that he
it-
was
it
the
was
best
kind-
actor and provided balance.
It was kind of a bogus way to off him too,
Yep.
and it created a premise for the season that was less than credible because
Well,
the basis for
I
it-
didn't see the show ever.
the basis
so I
for
don't-
his murder. The basis for his murder is kind of weak.
Well, yeah.
All right. President Trump has nominated former NFL player Herschel Walker to be the ambassador to the Bahamas.
Love it.
Cushy job.
Can we just, chuckle on that a little bit? Exactly
Sure,
what
why
I thought.
not?
Exactly what I thought when it was announced.
I want to be the ambassador to the
Me
Bahamas.
too. I just wanted to throw my name in there.
He just says Walker has spent decades serving as an ambassador to our nation's youth, military, service members, and athletes. Walker did try to become a senator. I'm not sure from what state. He tried to win a Senate seat in 2022 but lost.
Yes.
Maybe it was in Texas.
was Georgia.
Was it?
No, it
Oh,
was
Georgia?
Georgia.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be the ambassador to the Bahamas. Lucky him.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to know friends in high places, right?
Just take a cigarette boat off the coast of Georgia and head out. All right.
There you go.
For his
All right.
daily commute.
All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. We want to remind you, Gary Smith is still not feeling well, so there is no Do You Remember program today. Hopefully, Gary joins us tomorrow. We thank Tim
Feel
Draper.
better, Gary.
Well, he's got a little touch of the flu.
Oh.
Flu.
So, yeah, that's what
Must
he
be
tells
COVID
us.
from never getting a shot. No, I'm kidding.
Possibly.
Oh.
Thanks to
Talk-
Tim Draper, who came in earlier
Talk
today.
talk to the new director of the National Department of Health.
RFK?
He'll take care of you.
All right. John Ward, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you. And everybody go out and enjoy the God-given day.
All right.
We're not here next week.
Nope, it's Coffee and Carols next week, but we might be hearing your voices on the Coffee and program. So wish everyone
on
a Merry
top
Christmas.
of that, Merry Christmas all. And go out and enjoy the God-given day, the God-given week, and the God-given holiday Christmas.
Very good. And Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in today.
Of course. Great to see you guys, and have a wonderful Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you. And I'm Joe Callahan. Milk Fun Auction coming up this afternoon at 4. Tim Draper will be back with Kathy Orovitz, both from Navigant Credit Union.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio.